I am never happy when my Cowboys lose, especially when it's to a team that they not only should have beat, but to a guy who is highly overrated and honestly kind of an arrogant jerk. I don't like Aaron Rodgers. Oh well. Happy Monday, everybody. Yep. Back home, back on Monday. That's how it is. So, before I get into talking about what I want to get into, let's see how wrong I was yesterday, because I actually got a lot wrong. Let's see. I started out okay. I was right about the Eagles winning. I was right about the Panthers winning. I was right about the Vikings winning. I was right about the Texans winning. And actually, I was right about the Cardinals. Thank you. Cardinals finally won. And let's go Buffalo. Yeah. So the Bills won. And the Ravens. The Ravens won as well. I was right about that. Though the fact that it went to overtime was a little discerning. And now how about we get into the ones I ended up being wrong about? Foremost, I think the Saints are finally getting their groove back. That's the only reason why I can think they even beat the Buccaneers. Oh, yeah, I was also right about the Patriots, but come on, anyone would be right about that one. Let's see. The Raiders, they came to play. So I was wrong about the Bears. Darn it. The Broncos beat the Chargers, but I should have realized that since it was a divisional game, the Broncos are going to play harder than normal. Because honestly, the Broncos hadn't won a game yet, and all they have. Excuse me. Let's see. Of course, I was wrong about my Cowboys. They really should have won that game. I can't believe it. Lost. Oh. Let's see. I was wrong about the Chiefs winning. Wow. I haven't seen the highlight. Again, I don't really have cable, so I can't really make heads or tails as to what happened. But, yeah. The Colts ended up winning. Okay. Now, let's see. Now we get into tonight's pick, which is the Browns and the 49ers. This is a tough call. But, man, this is actually kind of hard. Because, let's be honest, the Browns are coming back, They're definitely better than they used to be, for sure. But then again, the Niners are actually on a bit of a hot streak as well. Have the Niners lost a game yet? I can't remember. Have the 49ers lost a game? Let's see if I can. I'm trying to find the scores from previous weeks. See if I can actually find anything. Let's see. Have the Niners won anything? Looking up right now. Or I should say lost anything. Okay, they won week 1, they won week 2, week 3. They also won. Yeah. The 49ers are undefeated right now. And they had a bye week last week, so yeah, they're sitting pretty much at the top of their division. You know what? Unless Baker Mayfield wakes up feeling dangerous, I think I'll pick the Niners. I'll pick the Niners over the Browns. Plus, I'm actually starting to become sort of a fan of George Kittle. I like that guy. He's pretty cool. So, yeah. That's my pick for today. Picking the Niners over the Browns. Let's see if I'm actually right about this one. Man, I slept longer than normal again. Didn't have to get up early and drive like 3 hours. I'm still yawning. That's unbelievable. Now, how about we get into some of the topics that I did not talk about or missed last week. Starting with one thing I didn't mention back when I was just attorney polling for my reunion is they had a memorial service in the chapel. Now, I wasn't going to show, I mean, I showed you guys what the chapel looks like, but I didn't show the inside of it because, you know, I never show religious or, you know, Jesus imagery. And, you know, so that's why I didn't really go in. But for the alumni memorial, you know, one thing that an alumni could do this past weekend was sing with the choir, which, you know, I sang choir at Trinity Pawling. You know, I was happy to do it. But here's the thing, though. It's actually not the choir. It's actually the a cappella group at Trinity Pawling known as the Trinitones. Now, longtime viewers of these videos would know I was in an a cappella group at Horseheads High School called the Acafellas. So, naturally, you would think that if I was at Trinity Pawling, I would try and get into the Trinitones. And I did, in fact, audition for them, but I didn't get in. Not that I was bad, not by any means. It's just that my choir teacher at the time, which he's pretty cool. I was about to say he is a pretty cool guy. I'm pretty sure he's still alive. You know, he's a pretty cool guy. He said that the reason why I didn't make the Trinitones back then was because, you know, I mean, I was only a PG. I was only there for 1 year, where you have, you know, multiple students at Trinity Pawling who've been there a lot longer than I have. So it really wouldn't seem very fair if, you know, I actually made the Trinitones over someone who probably should have gotten in, just because, you know, they were there longer, which I could respect. I mean, yeah, it sort of did break my heart I didn't get in the Trinitones, but, you know, at the same time, I could actually respect, you know, that kind of reasoning. You know, don't not include me into a group or anything and not tell me why that is. You know, that's just rude. So, you know, the fact I was, you know, told, you know, why I didn't make the Trinitones then, you know, that's cool. I can live with it. Plus, as I'm alluding to, I ended up singing with the Trinitones this weekend anyway. I actually got to sing the alma mater in tenor 1. Back, just like I would have if I made the Trinitones. So, I got closure. That's really cool, huh? And, yeah. Honestly, I wanted to bring back the sheet music of the alma mater because, you know, just to have, but, you know, they had to keep the copies, which, you know, it's fine. You know, gotta keep copies of sheet music. Excuse me. So, there's that. Sorry, I'm trying to, like, scab my face, sorry. So, in terms of things I haven't talked about, Noel Gallagher on Hot Ones. He was really good. Yeah, I know, I'm sorry I'm late, but, you know, because of the reunion, I just got so busy, I didn't have an opportunity to talk about Hot Ones last week. And something else I'm about to talk about in a minute. So, you know, Noel Gallagher on Hot Ones, you know, I got to know him a little more. You know, apparently he's a musician. You know, it was cool. And he actually did okay. It's the British people, for whatever reason, from what I heard, have sort of a weaker sort of palate, so they can't handle spicy food like Americans can. So he actually held his own pretty well. In fact, full disclosure, he actually did better than Gordon Ramsay did. Yeah, so that was impressive. Very impressive. In terms of other things going on, I guess I can sort of get into last week's manga chapter of One Piece. Might as well talk about it now, considering that it's a week break. Sigh. Well, and unfortunately, here's the thing. The last chapter was like world-shattering, big news type stuff. In fact, the title of chapter 957 was Big News. So, and the title of it was very apropos. With that said, this chapter is most likely going to get a bad rap. And I'll put a link to the chapter in the description. This chapter is going to get a bad rap because it immediately followed, you know, chapter 957, which is probably going to be hailed as the biggest chapter of 2019. And, you know, it's just not going to live up to it is the thing. To make matters worse, this chapter is surprisingly very short. In fact, it sort of ended abruptly. In fact, I was kind of waiting for something else to happen on the next page and, you know, poof, the chapter's over. And only to find out that, you know, we have another week break, you know, this week. This week, there will not be a new chapter. Next week, on the weekend of the 21st, actually the weekend of the 19th, there will be. So, yeah, there's that. Excuse me. And it also really doesn't help that the final panel involves... Okay, well, I actually did say I was going to get into spoilers for some of these, so here we go. You know, well, foremost, Wano Act 3 has officially begun. This is the chapter that Act 3 begins on. So, that's pretty cool, right? And, you know, the imagery in this chapter is beautiful. You know, there's like signs of like despair. And basically, the 9 red scabbards are at the Promised Harbor, which actually that's the title of the chapter, the Promised Harbor. Maybe I'll put the chapter title in the description as well. Yeah, I think I'll do that. So, yeah, where was I? So, the 9 red scabbards are there, and there's just a look of depression and despair on Kinnamon's face, and you're wondering what on earth happened. And then we get to the final chapter, which I made no secret about this. I really don't like the Shogun. The Shogun is probably one of the most unlikable sort of people I've ever seen in One Piece, probably since Caesar Clown. To the point where I want this guy to get the snot beat out of him. And the chapter just ends with just the stupidest look on his face. You'll see what I mean when you read it. And you're wondering what happened, and the chapter ends. Not very promising, is it? So, I want to see what happens next. And I'm sure a bunch of you guys are going to want to as well. But first, you know, we got to wait a while. Till the 18th, I believe. That's when the new chapter should be out. It'll be a Friday, so yeah, Friday the 18th. So, yeah. So I know Friday the 13th at least. Though, then again, I'm pretty sure September had one, so. Actually, is it there? I need to look up a calendar. I'll look it up later. So, if any of you guys are concerned about any potential Friday the 13th, just remember, if the first day of the month is on a Sunday, you get a Friday the 13th. Just, that should tell you something. That should tell you right there when to dread it, I suppose. So, yeah. I should probably get my day started and get going. You know, got a lot to do today. There's so much time and so little to do. That's from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, depending on... Well, it's weird. Like, yeah, I don't want to get into that sort of thing. It's just that, you know, I don't even know anymore. So, yeah. All in all, you know, I'm just sort of coming back from a wonderful weekend, which would have ended better if my Cowboys had actually won. But, yeah, it is what it is. So, yeah. Gonna get my day started, gonna get going, and see you guys tomorrow. I really don't know how to end this. Just, how do you end off a video today after, like, just the weekend that I've had? How do you do that? Well, I guess that's what I have to do, I suppose. Like, favorite, share, hit that subscribe button, follow me on the social media platforms, turn on those notifications on YouTube. I am very humbled I made this video for all of you guys to watch and enjoy for today. I'm hopefully have a wonderful, wonderful Monday. And remember, if you guys want to talk or chat, I was going to be here along in the year. Always have your back, take care, and make good choices.